Hello to you, my fellow Gooners, and welcome to Arsenal TV. This is my preview for Everton versus Arsenal at Goodison Park at a 12:30 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. Now, guys, what do we know about Everton at the moment? Well, Everton are currently 16th on the Premier League table with 5 wins, 3 draws, and 9 losses. Sky Sports released this week that Everton will be having a new manager in going into this game against Arsenal. Their new manager will be Carlo Ancelotti, one of the managers that was currently linked with Arsenal. That is a very, very good appointment. And I think the Everton fans will be very, very delighted with that. They've got their interim manager, their caretaker, and that is Duncan Ferguson. Now, Everton have picked up already under him, and Everton have taken 4 points from 2 of the toughest games against Chelsea as well as Man United. Now, let's look at Everton's previous results. Now, in the last 5 games, Everton drew 1-1 away from home against Man United. They won 3-1 against Chelsea at home. They won that game. They lost 5-2 against Liverpool away from home. Then they lost 2-1 against Leicester away. And then they lost 2-0 against Norwich at home. So out of those 5 games, Everton's only picked up 4 points. And that's under Duncan Ferguson. In terms of the new appointment when he comes in, Carlo Ancelotti, I think Everton fans will be hoping, for improvements in terms of their performances and results. They'll be looking to kick off straight away with a massive boost in going into this game against Arsenal. One player to watch out for Everton, and that is Richarlison. It would be very wise for Everton to put crosses into the box during this game against Arsenal. Now, the reason why I say that is because Everton will have noticed in recent games Arsenal has been poor in terms of defence, and I think it'll be very, very wise for Everton to put crosses into the box. Now the reason why Richarlison, they will try and get the ball to him into the box because he will be their main target. And the reason why they'll be their main target in the box because of his aerial strength. And, as for that, Richarlison has scored 6 league goals this season, more than any other Everton player this season. And let's put it this way, if Everton does decide to change formation and Richarlison goes out onto the wing, that wouldn't be such a problem. Because when the opposition has the ball, i.e. Arsenal, then Richarlison will cut inside. And when he cuts inside, Arsenal's fullbacks have to track him very, very carefully. Otherwise, with his pace, he will get into the 6-yard box and he will score. Now, in terms of Arsenal, what do we know? Well, Arsenal are currently 10th on the Premier League table with 5 wins, 7 draws and 5 losses. Now, if we go back to the last game out, and that was against Man City at home where Arsenal lost 3-0. That defeat to Man City, now that game showed no fight, no passion, no heart, nothing, no motivation, nothing whatsoever. Now, the only 3 players that stood out to me in that Man City game was Gabriel Martinelli, Emile Smith-Rowe, and Saka, the 3 young players. Now, that tops it for everybody else. So, it is a lot of work that needs to be done. Now, under Freddie Ljungberg, since he's been our interim coach, we have failed to turn things around. Now, I'm not blaming Freddie Ljungberg whatsoever because he hasn't got the coaching staff like every other team has. And he's only here just to steady the boat until the new manager comes in. Now, speaking of the new manager, earlier this week, Arsenal have been linked with Mikel Arteta, who was a former Arsenal player, and he is the assistant manager for Man City. Mikel Arteta, when he was playing for Arsenal, he made 149 appearances for Arsenal, and he was the only captain to lift the trophy after 9 years when he lifted the 2014 FA Cup. So he needs to make himself very, very privileged. Now, Mikel Arteta wasn't every Arsenal fan's choice, but I think that he needs our full support, and we need to back him. Now, as far as what I know, that Mikel Arteta has agreed to a 3.5-year contract deal with Arsenal. Now, do I think he will stay for the full 3.5 years. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know what's around the corner. But I want him to succeed at Arsenal. And we just need to get behind him. Guys, let's get into my predicted lineup for this game. So, I'm going to go with a 4-3-3. And I'm going with what I think that Mikel Arteta would go with. In terms of the experience he's had under Pep Guardiola, he might choose a formation that he's been with. So this is what I'm going to go with. So starting off in goal, and that is Bernd Leno. Now, against Man City, he made one of the saves of the season. Absolutely top class. Now, I think that at the moment, I think Bernd Leno is probably one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League so far. Bernd Leno has made 73 saves in the Premier League this season, more than any other goalkeeper, and that proves that our defence are not protecting him enough. And I think that against Man City, if it wasn't for him, I think they would have put 6 or 7 goals past us. So I'm expecting a good performance from him, so I'm going to go with Bernd Leno. And we're going to go to the defensive area. So playing at right back, I'm going to go with Hector Bellerin. Now, I know Hector Bellerin had a little hamstring injury during the West Ham game, but it looks to me that he's ready for selection and he's got over his injury. So I'm going to go with Hector Bellerin. Playing at left back, I'm going to go with C. Kolesnik. Now, the reason why I've gone with C. Kolesnik, because I think that he's over his injury now. I'm hearing that he's walked it off now and he's ready for selection. And that is what we need. We need Kolesnik there. So I'm going to go with Kolesnik and I'm hoping he'll put in a good performance. So that's what I'm going to go with. Playing as a 2 centre-halves. First off, I'm going to go with Socrates. Not a good game against Man City whatsoever. He just let Kevin De Bruyne just go through him. Didn't mark him properly. And I think that he should have done a lot better. Much better. So I'm going to go with Socrates. Playing alongside him, I'm going to go with Callum Chambers. I think against Man City, I think that it was one of his worst performances. As I said, it was exactly the same as Socrates. Didn't mark his man properly as he should have done. But he needs to put in a good performance. So I'm going to go with Callum Chambers. We're going to go to the midfield area. First off, as a defensive midfielder, I'm going to go with Lucas Torreira. I think Lucas Torreira, I think he did have a good game against City. He really, really did try and push City the other way and try and protect the backline as much as possible. But then again, what can he do if the backline is not doing their job to protect the goalkeeper? Now, what I want Lucas Torreira to do is to cut out the passing lines and to get us on the transition as quickly as possible. And hopefully we can try and keep possession for a long period of time. So I'm going to go with Lucas Torreira. Right, we're going to go to the 2 centre mids. First off, I'm going to go with Mesut Ozil. Against Man City, didn't have a good game whatsoever. I think he was poor. Now, against Man City, now I noticed when he got substituted, he took his gloves off and kicked them. Now, for me, that is disrespectful. Why would you go and do that? You need to just leave whatever you've done on the pitch, leave it there. When you come off, don't worry about it. Just don't act the way you did. Now, if anything, I'm getting onto him because if that was Granit Xhaka, everyone would have been on his back. Mesut Ozil needs to back up his ideas. So I'm going to go with Mesut Ozil. Playing alongside him, I'm going to go with Matteo Guendouzi. Now, I don't know if Granit Xhaka is fully fit after his concussion. Guendouzi has not played that great. Now, what frustrates me with Guendouzi is that when he gets the ball, he's either playing it one way, playing it the other way, or passing it back. I want him to be more forward thinking. When he gets that ball from the centre half, I want him to look up, look where the players are, pass straight away. One touch pass. That's all I want him to do. And at the moment, he's not doing it, and it's frustrating the life out of me. So I'm hoping he puts in a good performance. So I'm going to go with Matteo Guendouzi. We're going to go to the front three. First off, out on the right, I'm going to go with Nicolas Pepe. I don't think he had that much of a bad game against City. He did try very, very hard, but it just wasn't to be. I'm going to go with Nicolas Pepe, and I'm hoping he puts in a better performance. So that's what I'm going to go with, Nicolas Pepe. We're going to go to the left-hand side, and I'm going to go with Gabriel Martinelli. For me, against Man City, I think he was one of the most outstanding outfield player. He was the only player that seemed to have caused Man City a threat. And I think that he played absolutely brilliant. He really showed the heart, showed the passion. And I like his energy. That boy just does not stop running. For the whole 90 minutes, he was absolutely brilliant. And I would just want him to keep it up. So I'm going to go with Gabriel Martinelli. Playing up front as a leading striker is going to be Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now, for me, against Man City, he was very, very poor. He was anonymous. Where was he? Now, I did say that in these big games, I'm worried that Aubameyang doesn't turn up. And against Man City, he didn't turn up. He was anonymous. Now, you can blame it down to the supply line from the midfield, or you can just say that he just wasn't good enough on that day. Now, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, he only had 8 touches during that game, and 3 of them were from kickoff. Now, against Everton, I want him to put in a better performance. I want him to give 110%. He's supposed to be the club captain, and he needs to lead by example. So I'm going to go with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So guys, that has been my preview. That has been my predicted lineup. Let me know in the comments box, as always, do you agree or do you disagree? If what you would keep, what you would change, and let me know of your predicted score. Now, I'm not confident in going into this game based on our performances that we've had and based on the way our players have been playing. I'm actually going to go with an Everton 3-2. If you're new around here, you know what to do. Make sure you are smashing that subscribe button. Making sure you're hitting that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. And make sure you are leaving your comments below. Guys, there will be no preview or players' ratings for the Bournemouth game at Boxing Day. Because I am away for Christmas. And yeah, I'm taking a break away from YouTube for that game. But there will be a preview for the Chelsea game when I am back home. Guys, I would just like to say to all my subscribers, Merry Christmas to you all and a Happy New Year to you all as well. And hope you have a fabulous Christmas and hope you have a good year. So guys, until my next video, I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.